Too Reckless, back with another reaction. Today, me and Fisher are going to react to an interview with BET in 1994 with Tupac.
Something to offer to business that hasn't been shown before. You know, I have a whole energy that represents not just black youth, but white youth, Mexican youth, you know what I'm saying? That change right before you go from being 18 and unresponsible to when you go to being like 21, 22, and the whole world's on your shoulders. I believe strongly that my audience empathize with me because I show that side, I show that emotion raw, uncut, good and bad. And so I think I can bring that more funnel, more directed into screenplays, more albums, producing, managing, you know what I'm saying? If I can figure out just how to control it, I can use it on a lot of different levels. I trip off because it happens out of nothing. It just goes, you know, everybody just be screaming and acting, and I just trip. I get uncomfortable, and it's like similar to a deer being caught in the headlights. I just freeze, you know, and I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should be what they want me to be, or if I should make them hate me so they can stop. You know, like say something mean so they can just stop. But I'm just like caught in the middle of it because you can't. I mean, no one can do that. Police can't do that. They can't stand in front of all those people and control them with a gun and mace and all that. So me with just words, it's like a battle to find the right words to say at the right time.
That's the one unique thing, characteristic about Tupac that made him so popular, Fisher, is everything was from the heart. Everything was real with Tupac.
So far, all the songs we've listened to him, I can agree with that. Like everything he sung was his life and real.
Yeah, and you know, Tupac in 1994 when this took place, you know, I'm telling you that like the white culture was still just really young into the hip hop scene. Like, you know, maybe in places like LA or New York City, the white culture was used to maybe a hip hop scene. But for the majority of the United States, like the white kid culture, like kids, like I was still a kid in the late 1980s. You know, that, you know, NWA and that stuff come out. So, you know, for Pac to be talking about he can touch all kids, you know, that tells you how far that we had come in them, you know, them few years.
I'm curious, when you think about the idea that you do have that kind of control over so many people, in one sense, the whole idea of being a role model comes up in the imagery. And a lot of people who know you, and I talked to them beforehand, suggested that, hey, you know, when you meet him, he's going to be something entirely different than you imagined and what the media is portraying him. What about that idea that you have been portrayed? And sometimes, I mean, to be honest, you like the portrayal of you just hard,
That's
thug.
Right. That's right.
Don't step on me.
That's right.
You're in trouble.
That's right.
Yet there's another side to you too. What about that idea that you've got to be able to figure out where you're going?
To me, it's like it is my sensitive side that that likes to blow up the hard side, because if my image or my reputation can stop a confrontation before it happens, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? I know how it is day to day. It's a constant man ego check going on in this street, in this world. So part of that is just like, you know, that's my resume. But as far as the media, they look at it as something different. They don't care about my resume. They don't care about me not getting in trouble. It's just another story, you know, and it's a real story. They don't have to pay for it, and they're gonna milk it for all it's worth. As far as people, they want me, when they first see me, to humble myself. They want me to be like this and da-da-da, just because they're scared of me. But I don't feel like that's my job, to humble myself, to show you that I'm not a threat. I'm not a threat, unless you're a threat to me. You know what I'm saying? So when people say, when you meet Pac, he's different than he is, because when somebody one-on-one, anybody one-on-one, I believe, honestly, that I can talk. I believe that I have the ability to reason, I have logic, I have compassion, I have understanding. If we talk, there's no problems. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what happens. People use what they heard in the media, and that's how they come at me. And then, you know, we got to clash.
One of the things that you read in the media is that you're angry, that you personify your generation, that you just got some angry folks out there, and you're one of them. I'll put it to you. Are you angry? Are you angry with what you see society is about?
Yeah, I'm extremely angry, confused. You know, a lot of the times that I sat up in court, I couldn't defend myself, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like the things they were saying about me were beyond my comprehension, or the things that I could say weren't going to help my case. But because it's like being exiled, from society, and that's how I feel. And this whole the anger comes from, I'm tired of waiting for my past to get into society. All I ever wanted to do was make me and everybody around me feel more comfortable about where we were. You know what I'm saying? About the places that we stayed. This is our home base. Let's build it up. Let's be happy about where we come from. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to assimilate and get a pass key to where they at. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that everything needs to be separate, but we gotta find pride in ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And once you get the pride, like damn near 2 seconds after the pride comes anger. From being held like that for so long, and to be made to go through those changes, you get mad. You know what I'm saying? As soon as any black man receives his first 3 checks, he starts getting mad. Because it's not about the necessity of having to have a job and having to pay and having to do that. You don't care no more about the smiles and the, yes, massa, because you done got paid. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like you want to save money. You want to help other people. And you see how far it is, how far you have to go to help anybody in your neighborhood. It's set up for me when I get paid for me to exit the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? The only reason I've had these problems is because I haven't left yet. And these problems don't come from a white man. It comes from just society.
I know as a white father, I always try to, show Fisher different cultures and try to, if he has questions, explain to him, the differences in how people are raised or how they are, how they live. And, I think this is just from my lens. And it may not be a fair lens because, again, I obviously am a white guy, is I think where a lot of the white community gets confused with the black community when they hear about the real struggles of the black community is, I don't think, like myself, most of us have never seen a urban city, inner city setting. And so how can I explain to Fisher that for decades, the government, and when I say government, I mean the entire government, Republicans, Democrats, it don't matter. They have kept the inner cities down with drugs, less education. What Fisher sees is a whole different story. He sees a city that we live in that is 33% black, 33% white, 33% Hispanic, and everybody is pretty much on the same level. But that's Mayfield, Kentucky. That's not inner city Memphis or Compton or places like that, right, Fish?
Yeah, it's a totally different, not climate, a whole different area in life almost.
Yeah, and for a lot of these kids, generation after generation, they have suffered so much in these communities. And so I believe that is where, just my opinion, and it's all this, it's just my opinion, where a lot of white folks get it wrong when they hear, about black folks talking about these types of communities. We just don't know.
Yeah.
The problems that we have.
Let me put this to you. A lot of people tell me Tupac is, for the most part, a nice guy. This old thug thing, hype. Good for record sales. Helps him identify with the young people who are out there and angry, who would maybe label him a sellout like they did Hammer if he didn't have that hard side. What about that?
First of all, nobody could call me a sellout. I'm not going for that. I'm not even in that. I'm not looking for approval from the black community because we don't give approval. We don't really do nothing but exist. So it's not like black people could tell me you a sellout or you true blue. You know what I'm saying? It's not that. I'm not even caught up in that. But I can see that, you know what I'm saying, the one thing we do have in common as black people is we share that poverty. So the thug side is more closer to the poverty than me being rich. How can I come to any community center, sporting a Rolex Presidential, all these diamonds, and be like, look, we, gotta. But now when I say we, they know what I mean. I'm not saying like I live in this neighborhood and nothing, but I'm a thug and they thugs. They can relate to it. I don't even have to say that. You know what I'm saying? When I come, I don't have to say I'm real. They already know that. You know what I'm saying? From me being me. From not pushing the thugness, but I know from the business that everybody in this business is always whispering in your ear about what you can't say, what you can't do, what you can't wear in this world and in this world. It's two worlds, a white world and a black world. All I did was stand in the middle, you know what I'm saying, and say I'm living in both worlds. I can go to the streets and survive, and I can go out here and do my business out here.
I'm play devil's advocate again.
All right.
Critics say, yeah, but you're being pimped. You're being pimped by the record executives who will allow you to do your thug life because...
Two worlds.
Yeah, it's more than one, most definitely.
What's your thoughts on two worlds? You go. Like I said, you go to school with, obviously, 33% all the way.
Yeah, it's 33% black, 33% white, and 33% Hispanic. I would say what he means by most worlds is like a Memphis, isn't it East Memphis, you said, or West Memphis?
West Memphis.
Yeah, versus a Beverly Hills type of deal, more of a poverty level and more of a wealthy level.
I can break it down even more today because even in Mayfield, right? Even though he's not with us anymore, right? KJ, right? Viewed as he was Fisher's best friend, and he was, unfortunately, he is not with us anymore. But KJ was the same age as Fisher, and he was black. But he's different than, say, kids that live in the poorer section of Mayfield that are black.
Yeah. He never had to worry about when his next meal was. He never had to worry about any of that.
But that goes through for every race.
Yeah.
Because, like, one of your best friends that was white, lives on the country club, right? And, me and you, even though we're not homeless and we don't go hungry, we're on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah, we're on the living paycheck to paycheck, like most Americans.
Yeah, and so at the end of the day, there are different worlds within every community.
It portrays a certain black. I mean, you've heard it, that if you were just a singer, you wouldn't have the same record contracts you have.
Right.
But because you portray the thug life, the gangster rap, they've allowed you to make that money. They've allowed you to push and make you platinum.
I beg to differ. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting pimped. That's true. But just like how a woman would be, you know what I'm saying? Anybody to be pimped. It's like, it's not that you get pimped, it's how long you get pimped. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really look at this situation, it is not I who's being pimped. When you look at them white kids with Raiders hats on, it's the white folks getting pimped. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm making their future. I'm writing down their curriculum. Right now, what I write in my album today, when it comes out in 2 months, that's what white kids is doing. So who really is getting pimped? What I'm writing in my raps is what them white kids is gonna be saying to their mamas and daddies when they come home. Who is getting pimped? You know what I'm saying? I'm a high school dropout. You know what I'm saying? As far as my teacher told me when I was in high school, I ain't gonna be, you know what I'm saying? I just gotta, it's going down. You know what I'm saying? It's going down. Everybody's getting pimped. Whether you work a 9 to 5 or whether you work for yourself, you're getting pimped by somebody. That's not the crime. The crime is how long you allow yourself to get pimped. You have to come up. Everything is a come up. Everything is a struggle. You start from the bottom, work it to the top.
I believe two important things there. Tupac gets it. It's just not, at that time, especially in 1994, maybe not as much today, still today some, he's right to where, like, the white parents that did not like this type of music coming in their house.
Yeah, because it was different than anything.
Yes, they were definitely getting pimped in a way. I mean, they were like, it's coming, whether you like it or not. But the last statement Pac just said, when Tupac said this, I don't care who you are, somebody is pimping you. Somebody is making decisions for themselves above you. I don't care who you are, that happens. And the faster you realize that, the better off you are, Fish. Right?
Yeah. I can see what you're saying. Like, somebody's always making this decision for him, whether it's his record, the people who post out his records, tell him what to say. Always, they're making him do something for the better of them.
And simple terms to point this out. People think the the United States president is the most powerful man in the world, or woman, if there was a woman in charge. But in reality, Joe Biden is in a pinch right now because he's getting pimped by the oil companies. And so everybody does. But this was part one of our two-part series of our Tupac interview with BET in 1994.
And if you enjoyed, make sure to give this video a big like and subscribe, and peace.